Hello student, here is a question which says a 500-gram ball is released from a height of 4 meter. Each time it makes contact with the ground, it loses 25% of its kinetic energy. Find the kinetic energy it possesses just after the third hit. Okay, so let us understand by having an example. Suppose a ball is released and it strikes the ground with a velocity u, okay, and the coefficient of restitution is e, and after colliding, after the first collision, it bounces back. So what will be the velocity here after the first collision? So we know that velocity of separation upon velocity of approach is given as e. So if the ball is moving upward, then it is being separated from this ground, but the ground is not moving. That means कि the ball is being separated from the ground with a velocity v in upward direction. Okay. Now velocity of approach, since the ground is at rest, so the ball is approaching the ground with a velocity u. That means कि after first collision, velocity of the ball becomes e times u. So if the initial kinetic energy is half mu square, then after first collision, what is the kinetic energy now? So kinetic energy is half m. What is the speed now? EU whole square. So this is equal to E square times of the initial kinetic energy. Okay. So kinetic energy after the first collision becomes equal to E square times of the half mu square. Okay. And the question is mentioning that it loses 25% of its kinetic energy. That means this kinetic energy is equal to 3 by 4th of the initial kinetic energy, because 25% is lost. That means the 75% is remaining. So this kinetic energy is after first collision, that is why this is only 3 by 4th of the initial kinetic energy, because 25% is already lost. Now it will be equal to E square times of the kinetic energy, because this is the initial kinetic energy. Okay, so it gets cancelled here and you get the value of E square as 3 upon 4. So after first collision, the kinetic energy is E square times. So after second collision, it will be E4 times, and after third collision, it will be E to the power 6 times. Okay. So the kinetic energy after the third collision, because in the question find the kinetic energy after third hit, so kinetic energy after third collision is equal to e to the power 6 times of the initial kinetic energy. So e to the power 6 means 3 upon 4 to the power 6 into kinetic energy. Okay, so half mv square, half into, as the mass is 500 grams, so 1 upon 2 kg into g into h. The height from which it is thrown is 4 meters. So after solving these values, we get half I have written here as mgh. Okay, not half mv square, only mgh. Why mgh? Because when the ball is at a height of 4 meter, so it is having a kinetic energy, potential energy of mgh. When this reaches the ground, this potential energy changes into kinetic energy, that means half mv square. So you can write half mv square means initial kinetic energy as mgh. So I have written kinetic energy initial as mgh. Now when we solve this, we get the values, okay, as 8.44 joule. Okay, so the third hit, after the third hit, the kinetic energy is 8.44 joule, I hope this cleared your doubt. Thank you so much for watching.